Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to continue the solo training series from home with some turtle attacks with our grappling dummy. All right, let's get training. All right, y'all. So we're going to start this turtle attack series on our dummy. In the turtle position, this is a pretty common one that you'll find training with a live partner. If you pass their guard, they don't want you to settle into side control, so they'll come into this position. Or if they've started to escape, this is from the mount, so if you mount them, they start to escape. Sometimes they'll end up in the turtle position. This can be a good position for the bottom and the top player, but it's more of an advantage for the person on top than it is on the bottom. So for this series, I'm going to show you a couple ways that I like to deal with this position, a couple submissions, a couple reversals, and we'll go from there. So the most basic one that a lot of people like to learn, and it's the easiest one to show, especially with the grappling dummy, is the clock choke. So before we get started with the submission, as our opponent's in this position, I don't want to give, if this was a live training partner, I don't want to give them the opportunity to secure one of my arms and reverse me. So I don't want to overcommit an arm on the other side, and I don't want to undercommit because I don't have enough control. So what I like to do is I like to try to stay hip to hip, kind of hug their hip, not too far in because I can get rolled, not too far out because then I'm just kind of sitting on the hip. So I like to put my elbow kind of on their hip, hand on their lat area or on their shoulder. So if the arm does come out, I can grab the fabric real quick, or I can shoot my hand underneath and grab the wrist, grab the right wrist with my right hand for control. But so I want to take my elbow, kind of put it on the side of their hip, connect my hip to their hip, nice and heavy. I'm leaning into them, not so much weight is on my knee. I mean, obviously with the dummy, it's kind of hard, but with a real training partner, I want them to carry all my weight. So this far leg, my left leg, is kind of like my power rudder. Like I'm leaning into them. I mean, this is going to be the leg that I'm going to use if they're starting to come in, then I can come up real quick. Or if I got to transition, this is the leg that I'm going to rely on. So for the clock choke, so I'm in a turtle, they're nice and tight. If there's some space that you can get your left arm from this position across to the right lapel, it is the time for the clock choke. If you can't get in there, we'll go over that in this segment. So for training purposes, we feel like we can get in there. So sometimes what I like to do is like to move them around a little bit, get them worried more on this side, sometimes pull on their lapel, and then I'm going to sneak this straight across, just like this. So straight across, underneath their chin, to the far side lapel. So left hand has right lapel. Once I get this grip, what I'm going to do is take my right elbow and I want to put it on the mat here, and I want to put it against their head so they can't sneak away. And what I'm going to start to do is with my left arm, I'm going to pull out, I'm going to lean in, I'm kind of taking my right arm and I'm pushing against the neck, and I'm going to start walking. And as I walk, I'm going to pull, and this choke is going to get tighter and tighter. By the time you get here, your opponent should be tapping or they're going to go to sleep. So it looks like this grip. When I get this grip, I'm going to rotate my wrist and I'm going to use that to pull. I want to pull this part of my hand against their carotid. So here, I'm pulling. This elbow is here, I'm pushing, and I'm putting all my weight down on this, and I'm pulling and walking. By here, they'll tap or they'll go to sleep. If it's done properly. So once again, change the angle. So I'm here, elbow connected to the hip, my hip connected to the hip. I'm kind of leaning on them, kind of controlling here. Almost like a case of katami, except higher up. So from here, I move them a little bit just to see how they react. If I see the head kind of moving or they're readjusting, I'm going to take my left And I'm gonna punch it straight underneath their chin to the opposite side lapel. Once I get this, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna go elbow to the mat. I want the back of my tricep on their ear, and I'm gonna start to pull and walk. And then by the time you get towards the head, they should either be asleep or they'll tap out. So again, covering the hip, moving around, see how they react. The head lifts up, so go underneath, up here, elbow to the mat, tricep to the ear, and I'm gonna pull and walk. There is nice and tight by the time you get to the head. All right, y'all, so another option that I like to do, similar to that, same setup, is a head and arm choke. From that position, you have the option to switch it into a guillotine, finish with a head and arm. So same thing, covering the hips. I feel like my opponent's giving me a little bit of space. Instead of feeding the lapel, I'm just gonna feed my arm through. Here, and I'm gonna grab the neck. If I grab the neck here, he is in trouble. So what I wanna do, if I can grab the neck, I'm gonna take my right arm, peel it up, get it as deep as I can, feed to my bicep, and I'm gonna drop my elbow to the mat. Here. Once I get here, I want to secure a leg, so I'm gonna take my right leg, hook his left leg, and I'm gonna squeeze. Similar to the rear naked choke, squeeze for the finish. What that's doing, his left arm is cutting off the carotid, and then my grip is cutting off his right carotid. So this here, I may even help him a little bit. I may push his head down so he resists up. When he resists up, I go through and I grab his neck. Once I get here, I can move his head to the side if I need to grab my bicep. Here, I'm gonna turn my hip, drop it down. I want him on his side, hook the leg, and then squeeze for the finish. And from there, for the guillotine, arm in guillotine option, pretty similar. Here, attacking a turtle, I'm gonna push him down a little bit, get him to move, and I'm gonna shoot through. Here, lift, I'm gonna take my left hand, lift the chin, and then grab my watch. I want this grip, I want this across his throat. And this is gonna be my choke. So here, lift the chin, I'm gonna grab, as soon as I grab, I'm gonna roll it under. Here, arm in guillotine, put the foot on the hip if you need to. Finish. Arch your back, pull your hands up, squeeze for the finish. First option here, shoot it through. I get it that deep, I grab the head, move the head over, quickly grab my bicep, drive forward, drop my elbow, go to my hip, secure a leg so he can't roll, and then look to finish with the squeeze. Guillotine, move his head around here, shoot this through, look to lift up on his chin if I can, grab my watch, I'm gonna roll this through as I do a sit through. Here, foot on the hip, foot across, however you're comfortable. I'm gonna squeeze for the finish. All right, y'all, so the final thing I'm gonna show for this segment, it's really easy back take. If your opponent's all nice and tight, you can't get any of those options. Usually, you can at least get a hand through to grab the opposite lapel. So I'm gonna reach underneath, and I just wanna grab it, preferably as high as I can, closest to the armpit or the chest, because it'll make the transition a lot easier. Sometimes you might have to take your hand and kind of push it a little bit before you reach through, or as you push it, reach underneath and pull on the fabric. Just pull it a little bit so you can get the grip. So I'm gonna take this, punch it through here. Once I get this, I want it nice and tight, tight as I can get it. So this is the grip that I have right here. What I'm gonna do from here, keep this grip, I'm gonna hop to the other side. And I'm going to take my right knee and thigh, inside thigh, bump his right side, post with my hand, and pull. So from here, you have the option to take the back. So hook, hook, and then you can look for the choke. It's really easy to finish the choke here. Rear naked choke. Or you can just look to control the position. A different angle. Alright, opponent's nice and tight. Kind of bump that arm so I can get the space I need. Feed the left through. Grab the lapel. Post. As soon as you hop back into them with the right leg hitting their right thigh. Pull and turn. Establish the hooks. Establish the seatbelt. Protect your choke in hand. And then finish how you want from here. Last time. From this angle here, might have to pump it a little bit, feed through. Once I got this, post, bump, turn, hook, hook, seatbelt. All right, y'all, so thanks for tuning into my channel. This was just a few pretty basic turtle attacks that I like to use as a top player that you can practice on a grappling dummy. Remember, this is no substitute for a real training person, but it is a good tool to get a lot of reps in when you can't make it to the gym. So if you guys want to see certain content, please just drop me a comment and let me know what you want to see. I'll continue to keep building this series, and then hopefully soon kind of expand it into a bunch of different other stuff. But until next time, keep training and get after it. Thanks, guys.